One of the most frequently asked questions that I get on a daily basis is, do I really need an attorney, or is this something that I can handle myself? Hiring an attorney is a very big step, so a lot of people aren't sure if that's actually the road that they need to take and if it's necessary. So what I usually end up answering the question with is, more than likely, yes. And let me tell you why. Just because you have the right to represent yourself in court does not necessarily mean that that's going to be the best option for you. First and foremost, when you have a legal issue at hand, there are big things at stake. You can have your money at stake, your family, your life, your liberty, your freedom. All of these things can be at stake. So when you're representing yourself in court, you're taking the risk that it might not be done properly, which means something can go wrong and you can lose one of the things that I just mentioned. So you need to figure out what's at stake in order to determine whether you're willing to take that risk. Another thing that's important to know is that just because something is obvious to you does not necessarily mean that it's going to be obvious to the trier of fact, which is the judge or the jury. So in your mind, you may think that you have a really good case. It's so obvious that you were done wrong. It's so obvious that you're the one that needs custody. It's so obvious that you should win your case. You are innocent. Whatever the case is, to you, it's obvious, right? But there are a lot of cases, a lot of instances where just because it's obvious to you does not mean that it's going to be obvious to whoever you're presenting your case to. You could have a completely wrong opinion. So you need to consult with an attorney just to figure out if you're actually thinking on the right path. Is your case really obvious, or is it all just in your mind? And also, just because it's obvious, even if it is true, whatever your thoughts are, that doesn't mean that you necessarily know how to present your case properly. So that is the third thing that I would suggest when it comes to consulting with an attorney. You need to find out how to present your case so that it will be presented the proper way that's going to portray your case in the light that needs to be portrayed. You need to find out what's relevant, what's most important, and what is it that the judge or the jury needs to see in order to rule in your favor. Next, you need to find out the laws, the rules, and the procedure related to your case. I cannot express to you enough how important it is to make sure that you are up on the laws, the procedures, and the rules. Just because you're representing yourself does not mean that you get an excuse because you didn't know that something had to be filed. You didn't know that you had to serve a copy of all of the papers on the other side. Or you didn't know that the hearing was at 8:30 and not at 10:30. You get no excuses. You are required to uphold the same standards that an attorney would have to uphold when representing you. So therefore, if you're going to represent yourself, you need to make sure that you consult with someone, or at least do some research so that you know what the rules, the laws, and the procedures are related to your case. Finally, you need to get an objective opinion about your case from someone who's not emotionally tied to the case. Consulting an attorney for this is a very good idea because an attorney can give you the strategy for your case so that you can make sure that your case is headed in the right direction, and to figure out what your options are. There are a lot of different roads and paths that you can take in a criminal case. There's mediation, there's arbitration, there's settlement, there's trial. There are so many different paths that you can take. So you need to consult with someone who can give you an idea on what the best approach would be for your case. So you probably do need an attorney. Although there are exceptions, my answer is generally yes. That's it for today's episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.